I lost my apartment in a fire. My parents said it was a sign from God to start over somewhere new. They said it like it was a punishment. Later, I found out they had secretly let my brother live in their guest house for free. At Sunday dinner, my mom looked at me and said, "You should have been the one who got burned." My dad just laughed and said, "We stopped loving you when you turned 12. I smiled and said, "Then it's only fair I stopped loving you too." Then I walked out. 2 months later, I did something that took everything from them. It left them shocked and speechless. 2 months ago, I watched my whole life burn down. I lived on the third floor in a quiet neighborhood. The place wasn't fancy, the paint was peeling, the faucet leaked, and the hallway creaked, but it was mine. I worked 3 jobs to get that apartment. It was the first place where I didn't have to feel scared all the time. That night, I stepped outside barefoot, coughing from the smoke. The fire made the sky glow orange behind me. My hands still had dirt on them when I called my parents. It was 2:17 a.m. I knew it was late, but I had nowhere else to go. No friends with a couch, no emergency money, just a phone with little battery and a cold sidewalk to sit on. My mom picked up on the second ring. I told her everything, choking on the words as I said, "Mom, my apartment burned down. I don't know what to do." There was silence. Then she said with a sigh that sounded annoyed more than anything else, "Maybe it's a sign from God that it's time to start over somewhere else, somewhere far away, somewhere not here." My dad chimed in from the background. "Like hell." They laughed. I thought I misheard. I asked, "Are you serious?" "You're an adult," she snapped. "We did our job. Figure it out." "No." "Are you okay?" "No." "Where are you going to sleep tonight?" "Just nothing." I ended up spending the night in the hospital parking lot, wrapped in one of those foil emergency blankets a nurse slipped me. The next morning, I scraped together what was left in my checking account, $18,244, and checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town. Roaches in the corner, water that smelled like sulfur, but it had a door that locked. The real blow came a week later. I was walking past my parents' neighborhood, too tired to avoid the place, when I saw my younger brother, Jeremy, unloading a new flat-screen TV from the back of a pickup. He wasn't moving into the main house, he was moving into the guest house. I stopped in the driveway and asked, "Since when do you live here?" He shrugged. "Since last month." Mom said it was stupid to waste money on rent. She said, "Family takes care of family. Family takes care of family." I didn't say a word, just turned and walked. Sunday dinner was supposed to be a peace offering. I showed up only because my aunt, my mom's sister, begged me to come. She thought it would help ease the tension. I guess she still thought I mattered to them. I brought a bottle of cheap wine and a loaf of garlic bread. My mom looked at it like I tracked dog crap across her marble floors. We sat around the table. Everyone was there: Jeremy, my cousin Hannah, even my uncle Paul, who hadn't shown up to a family event in 2 years. The topic of the fire came up when Jeremy asked if I was still living in that motel with the bugs. I nodded, "Until I find something else." That's when my mother put down her fork and stared straight at me. "You know," she said softly, "sometimes I think it should have been you in the flames." Silence. "Mom," my cousin whispered, eyes wide. My father didn't even blink. He reached for the salt shaker and said, "We stopped loving you when you turned 12. You were always too much trouble." Something in me cracked, not broke, just split open. A wound that had never closed suddenly began to bleed again. I didn't yell, didn't cry, I just smiled. Then, "It's only fair I returned the favor." I stood up, walked out, left my wine, my bread, and my last threat of connection behind. That was the night I decided I wasn't going to survive anymore. I was going to win, and they were going to regret ever teaching me how to stand on my own. After I walked out of that dinner, something inside me shifted. I wasn't grieving anymore. I wasn't longing. I wasn't hoping they'd change. That night, in that crusty motel bed with the hum of the vending machine outside my door, I pulled out my laptop and started making a list. Not a kill list, not a tantrum list, a reckoning. I wasn't going to throw punches. I was going to pull strings, quiet ones, strategic ones. Because here's the thing about growing up unloved: you learn to watch. You learn to study people. You learn what buttons they pretend they don't have and which ones detonate everything. And I knew all my family's secrets, they just never thought I'd use them. The first thing I did, I called Nancy. She used to be my mom's best friend until mom outed her affair with the UPS guy to the whole church. Nancy and I hadn't spoken in years, but when I said, "I think it's time you knew what really happened to your inheritance," she perked up. You see, 5 years ago, NY's mother died and left her a sizable chunk of money. Only problem, the will had gone missing, and a handwritten letter mysteriously turned up, changing everything. Nancy always suspected foul play. I knew who really forged the letter: my mother. She bragged about it one night after too many glasses of Chardonnay, laughing about how Nancy didn't deserve it after sleeping her way through the choir. I had the original draft on an old USB I kept from college. My mom made me type it and print it on aged paper. She never thought I kept a copy. I sent it to Nancy. 2 days later, NY's new attorney filed a quiet fraud complaint with the county. Next came Jeremy, golden child, baby of the family, freeloading his way through life like it was a parade thrown in his honor. He always claimed he was working on a startup, but really, he'd taken out $68,000 in personal loans under my father's business name. Loans he used to buy crypto, sneakers, and a second-hand Tesla. How did I know? Because I was the one who handled the back end of Dad's bookkeeping. In the summer I turned 17. They made me work like a secretary and paid me in leftover pizza, but I remembered everything, including the login credentials to his old QuickBooks account that he never bothered to update. So, I logged in, found the discrepancies, took screenshots, compiled a PDF, then submitted an anonymous tip to the IRS. Did you know that misrepresenting personal debt as business loss can trigger a full-blown audit? I didn't either until a very helpful tax lawyer on Reddit DMs explained it with receipts. Then came the house. My parents' entire reputation rested on that sprawling white colonial with the picket fence and hydrangeas. To everyone at church, they were the picture of grace and generosity. What most didn't know was that they refinanced the house 2 years ago to cover Jeremy's failed import business and hadn't made a full payment since last Christmas. I knew because Mom asked me to fix the mortgage app on her phone once. I saw the red warning notification and took a screenshot. They were 3 months from foreclosure. So, I called Mr. Delgado, the property investor who once offered to buy their land outright and level it for townhomes. My dad called him a scavenger vulture. I called him my new favorite contact. I can't legally force a sale, I told him, but I know the numbers. They're circling the drain. Just be ready to move. The final move was Sunday dinner, round 2. I didn't show up at their door. I didn't scream or wave documents in their faces. I invited them to a reconciliation brunch at a quiet cafe in a neutral part of town. I told them I missed them, that I wanted to apologize, that I wanted to talk things out. They showed up in their Sunday best. My dad even wore a tie. My mother gave me her usual fake smile-smirk combo and said, "I'm glad you've come to your senses." I smiled back, calm, polite, cold. I slid a manila folder across the table. Inside, copies of the forgery for NY's inheritance, loan statements with Jeremy's name, a screenshot of the mortgage balance, and a short typed note. "You stopped loving me when I turned 12, now I've stopped protecting you." My father opened the folder. My mother's face went gray. I stood up. "You gave up on me in a fire, so I set one of my own. This time, it's going to burn slow and leave nothing." I left them at the table, mouths open, hands shaking. My brother texting furiously in the background like he could undo what was already coming. 2 months ago, they left when I called from the sidewalk. 2 months later, I handed them the match. After the cafe, I expected silence. But what I got was chaos. By Monday morning, Nancy had gone nuclear. She hadn't just filed quietly anymore. She posted everything: screenshots of the forged will, scans of the original draft I gave her, even a picture of my mom in front of the typewriter she used to fake the letter. She tagged the church Facebook group, she tagged the pastor, she tagged the local community board. The post: "Let's talk about wolves and choir ropes." My mom's reputation wasn't just tarnished, it collapsed. She was removed from the church's planning committee within 36 hours. Her name was quietly taken off the leadership rotation. The women she gossiped with every week now clutched their pearls when she entered the room. And the best part? Nancy ended her post with, "Funny thing, when you steal from others, you never expect the quiet ones to keep the receipts. Thanks, my name. You were always better than they said you were." But while my mother's social world was imploding, my dad was facing something worse. The IRS flagged 3 years of backdated deductions. They started with a letter, then a phone call, then a request for records, and then the audit. Apparently, reporting your son's Yeezy reselling as a tech expense raises red flags. By the end of the second week, their accountant had resigned. A lien notice followed. Their home, that white colonial with the black shutters they worship like a shrine, was officially under review for seizure. If repayment couldn't be made, they tried to delay it, refinance, beg, plead. But Mr. Delgado was already circling. He made an offer to the bank before they could blink: cash, immediate close. Once the IRS weighed in, the decision was made. Their home was sold in 33 days, below market value, to the man they called a parasite. And then there was Jeremy, my brother, golden boy. He cracked first. He DM'd me on Instagram. No hello, no apology, just, "Why are you doing this? You're burning the whole family down." I didn't reply. So he followed up. "Dad says it's not too late to come back. Maybe we overreacted. Just let it go already. You're acting crazy, crazy." I screenshotted the messages, saved them. And then I responded. "I lost everything in a fire. You offered me smoke. I gave you consequences." He blocked me. 3 days later, a mutual acquaintance sent me a photo. Jeremy, red-eyed, moving boxes out of the guest house. His Tesla parked lopsided on the street, a boot on the front tire. Turns out unpaid city tickets catch up when you're no longer protected by daddy's name on the insurance. I heard he's crashing with a friend now, sleeping on a futon, still pitching fake app ideas. I never confronted them in person again, but I did write one final message, a handwritten letter I mailed to their P.O. box since the house had been vacated. It said, "You told me I should have been the one in the flames, so I built one with paper, with truth, with time. You stopped loving me at 12, then you never got to meet the version of me who finally grew teeth. You weren't family, you were weight, and I just dropped you. No return address, no signature, just my truth folded neatly and sealed." In the aftermath, I used my insurance settlement and emergency savings to move across the country. New state, new job, new name on the mailbox. And every Sunday since, while they sit in rented chairs in someone's backyard, hoping people forget what they did, I go for a walk, I sip my coffee, and I smile because the fire they left me in didn't kill me. It reforged me. 3 months passed, no calls, no messages. Then one day, my phone lit up with a number I hadn't seen in years. It was my aunt, the one who always took their side, the one who called me dramatic. When I cried in middle school after they skipped my birthday for Jeremy's swim meet, her voice trembled. "They're not doing well. Your dad's working part-time at the hardware store. Your mom's been shut out of everything. They talk about you now, quietly, regretfully." I stayed silent. They think maybe they went too far. Your mom cries. Your dad barely speaks. Jeremy's been couch hopping. If you ever wanted to talk. I cut her off. Why now? Why only after they lost everything? She hesitated. Because they're scared they'll never hear from you again. I gave a quiet laugh. They're right, and hung up. Some people say revenge doesn't make you feel better, but I didn't do it to hurt them. I just wanted them to feel something, anything. Like how I felt for years, ignored, forgotten, treated like I didn't matter. Now they finally understood. Last week, I got a small envelope with no return address. It had my mom's handwriting. Inside was a photo of me when I was 8, holding a macaroni necklace for Mother's Day. On the back, she wrote, "I wish I had loved him better. No sorry, no reasons." That night, I went to the pier and let the photo float away in the water. Not because I was angry, because I was letting go. I'm not their child anymore, I'm my own person. Stronger, wiser, whole. They broke me, but I fixed myself. And that was enough. Epilogue. I don't check on them, I don't ask about them. I heard Jeremy's loan got denied because of a fraud alert. I heard my dad wears the same old shirt every Sunday. My mom works at a thrift store now, nobody talks about church with her anymore. Me, I live where people know me for who I am now, not for what I had to go through. Sometimes I tell this story. My friends ask, "Don't you wish you did more?" I smile and say, No, I did just enough. And then I let it go.